So now we're here at Allan's house. He's the owner of AJ's Pets and Supplies in Rocky Mountain House. And Allan's going to show us some of the amazing setup he has. Alright, he's got a crazy snake setup, crazy lizard setup. Yeah, tons of stuff in here that I want. I can't get everything though. I can't get anything because it's way out of my price range, a lot of stuff he has. He's got a lot of high-end snakes here. You're going to see a lot of them, starting with this one here. So what do we have here, Allan?
This is just an albino boa.
Yeah. And how old is this one here?
She's about 4 years old. She's a little small still, but...
Now, albinos are naturally occurring in the wild. It's a recessive gene, right?
Yep.
Yeah, recessive gene. So they use them a lot for breeding that, but you can't just breed one of these to a normal boa and get another albino. You have to breed them with another albino or what they call a het. Yeah, they're really good for breeding that, for getting a lot of the different kind of morphs in that. Now, what kind of cool things can you make with the albino boas?
Well, if you put them with the salmon boas, which is a codom, you end up with a sunglow, which comes out kind of a reddish tinge to it. Mm-hmm. You also need these to make like the snow, the white ones. Okay. You put an anery with it.
Gorgeous snakes. How long is she?
She's probably about 5 feet.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually she's 6.
Now there's a lot of breeders out there that are doing the snakes and that don't really have the best setups and that. Allan is not one of those. Allan is one of the more responsible breeders, as you can tell by his setups are clean. There's no smell in here. It doesn't smell like snake, well, the snake poo or anything like that. It's a really clean setup, really nice enclosures. I've actually never seen these enclosures before. These are really good enclosures. Now, in the video earlier we did at the store, we were talking about the K-Cocker boas. Yep. Now, Allan's got the actual K-Cockers here to show us what they look like. It's actually a really cool looking snake. Have to be a little more cautious with the breeder snakes because they don't get handled every day like a pet snake would get handled, so you never know, they might get a little angry and nip sometimes. So this is the K-Cocker. These are nice. These are really nice looking boas. So a little bit different than your typical boa you'd see. And this is full grown on these?
Yeah, this is full grown. That's as big as he gets. Yeah. He's a little grumpy. He's naturally grumpy.
A little bit of a hiss out of him there. But these would be a more ideal pet than getting the boas that get like 9 feet long.
Yeah, this guy like 5 feet.
Yeah, so a lot more suitable for the household pet. Alright, so what else have we got here? What's another really cool boa you got over here?
We can show some of the difference in his babies.
And how old are the babies here?
These guys are about 2 months old.
So yeah, these are really
They were tiny when they were...
Yeah, now look at the difference in these. Look how dark this one is compared to this one here. Yeah. What are we doing? So same litter, but completely, well, not completely different colors, but really a noticeable difference in color there. A little nippy. Oh, that's good. Now, what is your most expensive boa that you have? Like, if you were to sell your most expensive boa, what would it be and what would it be worth?
Oh, good question.
Put him on the spot.
I have no idea. For
what's the albino worth? What's an albino boa this size worth?
Maybe $800, maybe $1,000.
Yeah.
Boas aren't that much. They kind of dropped in price a bit, just because of size and not many people could do them. I have them just because they're one of my favorites.
Ball pythons are the more popular.
Yeah, ball pythons are where the money's at.
Okay, well let's stop here and we'll go over and look at the ball pythons.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we're at the ball pythons. This here is a normal ball python. This is what they normally look like in the wild. The most common ones you see in the pet stores and that obviously because they're the cheapest ones. But normal ones are not really what people like Allan want. They want the fancy colored ones. So can I hold this for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now let's get where's your lesser bee? I think your lesser bee is probably the most impressive one to me. I really like the lesser bees. This is a gorgeous snake. I love it. Now look at them. It's exactly the same kind of snake, just a different morph. So the morph is a different color and different pattern of the snake. So it's exactly the same species, just different color and pattern. Okay? Now, this is a lesser bee. How do you get a lesser bee? How do you make a ball python like this turn into one of these?
Basically, this is like 2 different morphs. Basically, this is like the spider morph and a lesser.
Okay.
You put them together, you get this. Because they're both codoms,
yep.
You have a pretty high chance of making this.
Now, yeah, breeding them is a science, right? I mean, you've got your dominant morphs, your co-dominant morphs, your recessive genes, and then there's like visible hets and non-visible hets, and it's a science, right? It's not just anybody can do this. You've got to know what you're doing to get into this stuff to make it work. So it takes a lot of work, but it pays off because you get stuff like that. Now, what's another really cool one here? What would the lesser be worth? What is a lesser bee worth right now?
Right now they're around $1,200, $1,000, somewhere around there for males.
How much for a female?
Females probably still around $1,500.
Yeah, 1,500. Now the females are always worth more because the females are the ones that lay the eggs. You want the females, but it's different in recessive morphs, isn't it? Recessives, the males are worth more.
Pretty much males are worth more. Depends what you have.
Yeah.
Females,
again, it's a science.
Yeah, everybody wants females just because they need them to
have babies.
Get more babies. But you need the males in order to make anything.
Yeah. Now what's this one here?
This is the bumblebee.
Oh, this is a bumblebee. This is what I want. This is what I would like to do this. If I ever had a breeding project, it would be a bumblebee. And the bumblebees is a spider ball python and a pastel ball python together. Yeah.
Yeah, so close like this. Spider again, but
so
instead of a lesser, it's a pastel.
So if you took one of these and bred it to a lesser, you'd get this.
No. Close. You would actually end up, if you bred this one and
what
put
is
it to
this
a lesser,
here?
This is just a lesser spider.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was a lesser bee. Sorry, I didn't know it was a lesser bee.
The queen bee.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not into the morphs. I'm out of the loop. I used to know my morphs and that, but I'm out of it now. It's gotten every couple of years, everything changes. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
And we got some of the darker ones.
This is Mojave.
Mojave, yeah.
Mojave, yeah. See, Mojaves have been around for a while, so that's I know what the Mojaves are. And that's so again you can see the difference there beside them. Really nice looking snakes.
This is one of the ones that you need with, you combine that with a lesser and you get a leucistic. You get
he's talking about you there.
Oh yeah, she's grumpy.
We put the normal back here. And just so I know too, every container here has heat too. It's not just a snake in the tub. There is actual heat under every single container in this rack and every container in this room actually, and it's called heat tape they use, and it's just is it down the back or underneath the bottom?
I go underneath.
Okay, yeah, so it's basically a really thin layer of heat tape underneath the bottom. It's hooked up to a thermostat, so every one of these is going to be the exact same temperature, right? They're all regulated and all that. What's your favorite ball python that you have here? Your absolute favorite ball python?
Probably for favorite ones, probably is the lesser bee. It's just because of the color.
Now, what's a project you're working on? Do you have any projects you're working on right now? Trying to make something.
Really. Within it's more of this is just kind of it's more of a hobby than anything. If I was in it for the money, I'd have some of the higher end morphs to build in. But for this, I put some together. I buy some new ones each year to get just some different genetics in there and put them together and hope for the best.
Now I think I don't really like corn snakes too much, just because they're not my kind of snake, right? I mean, they're great snakes for pets and that because they're small, but they're not my kind of snake. So I think we're gonna go over and look at some corn snakes now too. All right, so now we're with the corn snakes. What's this one here?
This is a gold dust. That's what they call this one. Basically, it's just a few morphs put together.
And this is full grown for a corn snake, right?
You bet.
Yeah. Again, this is why corn snakes make good pets, because they are a smaller snake, right? They don't get huge. They're not going to, as people think they're going to kill their kids and that. Not going to happen, right? No snake is really going to do that. But the corn snakes, there's no chance of really hurting you because they are so small, right? There's not a lot of power with them there. Now, what snake did you start out with? What snakes did you start out breeding? Was it corn snakes?
Yeah, corn snakes were the first snakes I had.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that, starting with corn snakes. And why is that?
Easy. They were cheap.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. Like, they didn't cost, thousands of dollars to get into.
Like, what would the price of your highest end corn snake cost?
Probably about this one here, just because of her genetics. You're looking at about $300.
Yeah, $300. So $300 as opposed to your highest end ball python, which is not really super high end, and it's $1,500, right? So there's a huge price difference. So corn snakes are a lot. That's the appeal for corn snakes, though, because they are a cheaper snake. So what are some other cool corn snakes? Oh, you got rosy boas here too. Oh
yeah, I've had them forever.
You got everything here.
They're a side project too. Everything's kind of a side project.
That's a cool one. And what's this one here?
This is a hypo snowpole. Is what they call it. Basically, it's a regular snow crossed with basically a hypo lavender, and you end up with this. So you get quite a few genetics in one.
So what we need to do to make this easy is you need to have this snake here with an equal sign beside it, and then have what makes it beside it. Because it's so tough to know what you're talking about without actually seeing everything. Like you're saying hypo lavender and all this, but it's like I said, it's a science, and it's hard to know exactly what makes it without actually seeing them. But
yeah, this one basically you've got an anery, an amel, lavender, hypo. So you got a few different morphs in it.
Jeez. And how long have you been working with snakes?
About 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah. I started out with the geckos.
Yeah. Wow. Well, speaking of geckos, why don't we just
want to go to
let the corn snakes go, and we'll go over and look at some lizards.